Hello everyone, I am Professor Neerav Mehta from LG Institute of Technology and Engineering. In today's session, we will going to learn about two-dimensional sketching in SolidWorks. For that, we will start from a particular plane in our SolidWorks screen. So let's select a particular plane. I am selecting a plane here, which is front plane, and start with a sketch. Now, to have the sketch, I am having this type of sketch to have my two-dimensional entity. Here in this sketch, we are having a sketch which is having a base of 80 mm, total height of 40, which is having two different feature of a radius 10 as well as radius 40, which is given in another its projection. Now let's start with the base. Here we can see a base which is having 80 mm clear, which is having a slant height of 45 degree, which is having a x degree dimension, horizontal dimension of 10. So for that, to draw this base, we can have a different types of commands or features in a sketching. For that, I can design this particular thing with the line also, and I can also have this particular rectangular corner. I will start from this rectangular corner, from one corner to another. Clear? So select this rectangular which is starting from one corner. Clear? So to another. Remember this, when you are designing any component, always define this particular component from your origin to have fully defined dimension as well as fully defined sketch. So you can have easily define your sketch into particular three-dimensional space. So here I am having this base to from this sketch which is called two corner rectangle. Now I will have a smart dimension. Here you can see the dimension of this particular base dimension is 80. This vertical dimension is not directly given, so you have to define it by this particular slant height. So first of all, let's provide this 80 mm of length to our particular rectangle. So it is having 112. Now I will convert it to 80. To have it from single point or a center point, I can define this from this point to this point. It should be 40. So our rectangle will be exactly in a center of our origin. Here you can see it is in center of our origin, 40 mm this side and 40 mm this side. Now draw a slant height or a slant line from this point to this. So you can have this point, one point to another, clear, from a line which is having an angle of 45 degree. To have this angle, I can use the smart dimension, clear, which is having a 45 degree, so 45 degree of an angle, and the length of this particular line should be 10 mm, which is given in our drawing. So I can have this 10 mm of length. So by defining this particular length and particular angle, we can have desired thickness in vertical dimension also. Clear? Now I can use this particular entity to have mirror about this particular center line, but I will for a requirement or a facilitation or for initial stages, I will use this operation. Once again, I will select this pencil and then I will draw a line here which is having an angle of 45 degree and a length of a 10 degree. So we can easily sorry, once again, we can easily have our dimension together. I hope you got this point. So let's have this smart dimension from this side to this, which is having an 45 mm, okay, 45 degree, and which is having a length of this point to this should be 10 mm, and which is fully defined. Now to remove unwanted parts from this particular entity, we can have this stream option. So you can use the stream option to remove this unwanted part. I hope you got this point. Now we got our so now we got our particular so now we got our particular base for this particular sketch. Now let's move on to another part of our sketch. Here you can see two vertical lines which is symmetrically to our central axis and which is having 40 mm of distance from each other. So now I will draw two lines, vertical lines from this our base, which is having a 40 height from bottom. So let's draw this particular entity for our sketch. So I will select, once again, I will select line. I will draw a particular line for this, from this line at 90 degree, another line, another line from this point 90 degree. Clear? Now we will provide a smart dimension to this. Provide the smart dimension. I can have the length of this point. This point should be 40 mm. So the same goes for this point to this point. It should be 40 mm. So we can have easily our two length or height of our particular entity. Now we have, from this particular sketch, I have to provide this two concentrating circle. One is having 40 mm diameter and another having 20 mm diameter, or you can say 10 mm radius. Clear? So let's have two concentrating circle from this center point. Clear? So let's select a circle which is having center at the center of this line and end point here. Clear? But before getting into this, we should know this, that the distance between these two lines should be 40. So let's have once again smart dimension, and distance between these two lines should be 40. Clear? So this line, both of line having a 40 mm, or another method you can use to have this distance is one from here to center point, which should be 20, and another is from here to here, this point, it should also be 20. So you can exactly having a line which is having a distance of 40. Clear? Now let's use our circle which is having a center point between this two and to touch it with this corner, so it can have a 40 mm of diameter. Now let's have another circle which is having a 20 mm radius from same origin point. Clear? We can have this 20 mm 10 mm radius to this particular circle. Now to remove the unwanted part, I will draw a line from this point to this point, so I can have trimming of my unwanted part. Here, this is unwanted part, this was unwanted part, this is unwanted part, as well as this is also an unwanted part in our drawing. So let's see our drawing, particularly by disabling this dimension. You can see our drawing which is having a fully each and every feature which is provided in this particular part. So here you can see our sketch is made in our front plane, which is having each and every feature. So to design or draw this particular part, we have used multiple sketching options, from line to rectangle to circle. So you can easily practice this kind of a sketch at your SolidWorks. So you can have your sketch perfectly defined. In this particular session, we have gone through this sketch. In next session, we will going to have a solid, or you can say three-dimensional part in our SolidWorks tutorial. I hope you got each and every command and option of this particular session very well. If you are having any kind of problem with this SolidWorks, you can directly contact me. Here once again we have defined our part fully defined, because we are having this part which is with reference to our origin. While doing this, you should always know about this. After completion of our sketch, just remove or exit from the sketch, so you can see the sketch in this particular tree. Here you can see the tree or options which you have used in our particular drawing. In this particular drawing or sketch, we have only used one type of sketch. So from this point, you can see this sketch. To get into once again into the sketch, you can select the sketch and you can directly get into the sketch. Clear? I hope you got this each and every point very well. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are stopping here. Thank you.